Hello and welcome. This is the Wolf Way. I'm Tom Throp along with head coach Justin Hilton. We are going to talk about what we look forward to happening this year in high school football pertaining to the Westridge Wolves. Coach, number one, coming off a great 2025 season. It was a very exciting season, run to the playoffs, some record-setting happenings, a great year, and I'm going to throw some names and some stuff at you and let you respond, and then let's look at this year. You had 2 rushers over 1,000 yards. You had 2 folks that scored in double-digit touchdowns. You had a graduating class of seniors that had great leadership and some record setters. Caleb Mabb, highest punting average in the history of the school. Samuel Burris, single season and career extra points kicked. Sam Perry, single season tackles and career tackles. Ethan Amick, single season rushing and scoring and career in those. And have to include Caden Duke. Don't know that he had any records, but just the enthusiasm and leadership that he and Tanner Mims on both ends of the defensive side. And there are other senior leaders, but those are a bunch of leaders and they're gone. However, last year you had 2 captains that were underclassmen. Still something that to me is a huge statement about those 2 young men that are captains again this year, I would imagine, and I was going to let you start with that. You told us last year that group of seniors got together with you long before the season, almost a year out, and said, here's what we want to do. They did a lot. That was a huge year, a tremendous year, great adjustment offensively, a lot to follow and a lot to lose, but I know you feel good about this year.
Yeah, we would like to have those guys back. I mean, there's no mistake about that. You start reading those names and it takes you back to certain memories from the season, great memories, not just on the field but off the field as well. But as happens every season, the page turns and you move on to the next group that's going to write their story. You're right, we do. We have two captains that are back, Justice Hilton and Hayden Music. Both were elected captain again this year, along with Kingston McConnell and Cal Tatum. So I feel like the leadership is secure. Yes. I think that we do have good leaders. And I think that foundational work that was laid by that senior bunch that started way back when the season ended before we started 2025 is going to continue on. I think that you can see that in the record number of freshmen that we had come out this year. I mean, 53 freshmen came out this year, the biggest number that I have ever seen anywhere I've ever been.
Right.
They want to be a part of it, and they want to be a part of something that those guys built and that these guys have to continue on with.
Let's talk some specifics as we go forward for this year. And I think, to me, the place where it starts is the offensive line. You've got guys coming back, some that have started for 2 years. This is their 3rd year as starters. A lot of experience, a lot of talent, created a tremendous rushing game for you last year. Talk about the offensive line.
Well, let's start with the new face, Cooper Nelson. He's going to be at center. He's a sophomore. He's a strong kid, and we're expecting big things out of him, but he's still a sophomore. So he's going to have to lean on the 2 guys to his right and to his left, which is Cal Tatum and Kingston McConnell, 2 captains.
2 captains.
So he's got a captain in his right ear and a captain in his left ear. And then you slide out to the edge with Hayden Music, who slid in from tight end to tackle, and Peyton Martinez, who took over for Nathan Arnold when he got hurt. So all of these guys, with the exception of Cooper Nelson, come in with a lot of game experience and a lot of leadership skills. Cooper has a very high upside, and I expect those older guys to push him along and keep him moving.
Wonderful. Let's go to the receivers. The role of receiver here at Westridge this past year was different than it was the year before. And I'll throw Caleb Mabb's name out there again. 7 touchdown passes caught 2 years ago. A bunch of catches, bunch of yards. Last year, I think he caught 3 passes, basically. Wide receivers have a different responsibility.
They do. I think it may change a little bit this year. I think our passing game has been – we went on a 9-hour trip to Arkansas to learn even more about this offense and have talked to some other people, and the passing game was a big part of our conversation. So I think the role of the receiver is still going to be an unselfish one where they block, but they're going to have the opportunity to make huge plays in the passing game. based off some of the things that Coach Kopus and Coach Barber and the offensive staff have come up with. A lot of these guys played a lot last year. Jackson Walsh played in big games, caught a big pass against Elizabethton for an 80-some yard gain. He'll be out there at receiver. Jackson Price is going to play a little wing and a little receiver both. Braden Lawson back from basketball, another big long body that's going to be out there. Reiner Hayes, who caught a touchdown pass in the scrimmage, big, long, strong body, young sophomore. And Maddox Harris, who's really changed his body in the offseason and become somebody we can rely on at receiver. And we've even got a freshman, Reeves, who's going to come in and give us some spot minutes. So there's some other names that I didn't mention, but those are the guys that we've been looking at throughout the summer.
And again, an important role, even if they don't catch a lot of passes, with what has to be done with downfield blocking, point of attack blocking and downfield blocking, the responsibility, and you talked about it all year last year on the Wolf Way, about how the receivers were making that extra block as well as the linemen, and it makes a difference, obviously. Okay, let's shift to the running backs. Let's talk about, you've got the three guys basically out there at a time as a running back. Let's talk about what you got.
Elephant in the room, who's going to replace Ethan Amos.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's so two-headed monster, but we think that we could have more. Orlando Mack and Brody Fields are going to share time at that position. Jax Brown's done a phenomenal job in the scrimmages coming in, and we're comfortable with Isaac McGee rolling in there at B-back as well. So we feel like we've got some good depth at B-back. Nash Dishner scored 2 touchdowns in the scrimmage at B-back. Bump out to the A-back position and more of a speedy position. Whoever's not at B-back between Brody and Orlando is going to be at A-back. Jace Arwood, another big, strong kid at A-back. So we feel like we can mix it with some speed and some power in there. Dayton Brown played all last year. Jackson Price played all last year. Isaac McGee, back from injury, is going to be in there at A-back, an explosive playmaker. Brody played a ton of A-back last year. Right. I'm leaving somebody out. Landon Parker, a young guy, and I'm sure I'm still leaving somebody out. But we feel like we're pretty deep at running back, and we really like the room. I know that Coach Nick Kopus and Coach Wampler they're really excited about those guys.
And should be. And again, it is that elephant in the room because Ethan Amos was such a force last year. But these guys have a lot of talent, like you said, and we've seen them on the field, and they've come through when called upon. Okay, now we move to that quarterback position, and gosh, we just have a guy coming back who gained 1,200 yards almost, scored 14 touchdowns, had a phenomenal season, made great decisions. Does one of those, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, Ryan Wagner, who former quarterback at another school, was the best option quarterback that I remember seeing over my 40-plus years of being around high school ball. I think he's got a peer now. And Justice does things on the field with the football and without the football that allow and cause this offense to work. And I know it's difficult. It's your son, been there, done that. He can play, and the position that he plays and the way he runs this offense is exemplary.
He's got a year under his belt now. I was talking to his mom the other night. Nobody will ever know the feeling when we walked out for that first game against Tennessee High. I'll just tell you that. But he's got a year under his belt. I think Coach Kopus trusts him to go out there and get us in the right play and to make checks at the line now. I think we've grown. Our offense has grown with that experience. He's gotten bigger and he's gotten stronger, and the expectations are higher. So I think that's going to be the true test. How's he going to handle those expectations? Because he's not the little one that they don't worry about anymore. He might be somebody that they game plan for, and other guys will have to step up. So.
And do you not think that, and I sort of look at, we had the two-headed monster in the backfield last year basically with Justice and Ethan. So Ethan is gone, Justice is back. That has to be where the focus is more even on him than the A-back position. Or the B-back.
If they're not picking Orlando or Brody, it could be a good night for the Wolves.
I understand that. And again, that's part of that decision-making for Justice then at that point to know who to get the ball to and to read. And I think he does a phenomenal job reading both at the point of attack and even downfield when he gets there. But that's kind of my thought at this point in time. Who do they key on? Are they going to key on the position that Ethan gained the yardage out of, knowing that is a huge attack point, or do they key on Justice at the quarterback position And I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of people that can key on both, which was true last year. That's how you had, 3,000 yards rushing out of those two, basically. Next step, also the thought, as you brought up, maybe do a little more passing.
This, and Fisher to Barry, this is a quote that I've used because I think it's a good one. When he was at Air Force, they would give him a hard time about not throwing the ball. He said, we throw it every play. We just throw it behind the line of scrimmage. So we still feel like this is not a whole lot different than a spread offense. We force folks to defend 53 and a half yards of width on the field. Now we've got to force them to defend vertical space as well, because if they have to defend the vertical space of the passing game, it's just going to open up the running game even more. So I think those are complementary. I think that it's no different if you're in the shotgun or under center doing what we do. Establish the run, make them commit a man, and open the passing game.
Wonderful. And again, the experience of the year where there was a lot of pressure on him in a lot of ways, he came through, and having the opportunity to do another year of that, I think it's going to be a great season, personally. Okay, let's shift to the defensive side of the ball. And we'll start at the line, because again, point of attack, you've got some guys back, but again, we mentioned Mims and Duke that are gone. Those are two big names that are gone.
The big thing about those guys being gone, they were the emotional leaders, so somebody's going to have to step up and be the glue guy. We had two glue guys, and then you had Ronnie out there with him, who was just consistent. Can't believe he stayed healthy all year. So happy that he did.
Yes.
But people have to step in and fill those roles. We feel like we've got a nice rotation on the defensive line. Callan and King McConnell, Cal Tatum, Hayden Music, Orlando Mack can walk down and be an edge guy. Peyton Martinez. Now, you've heard a lot of those same names on the offensive side, but we've got to get a system where we roll those guys in and keep them fresh, but we've got to get our best players on the field while we're doing that.
Right.
Ethan Hicks and Dalton Clark they're going to factor in heavily. We've got to get big minutes out of those guys at defensive tackle.
Okay. Linebackers, what are we going to do linebacker-wise, personality and scheme?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm excited about, first of all, I'm saddened that Karsten Toole got injured, because he was really coming on at inside linebacker. We think we'll have him back for the third game, so that'll be great. But Jax Brown has stepped up and taken on a leadership role on the defense side. Maybe he's the glue guy. Maybe it's going to be him. And then he's flanked on the outside by Orlando Mack and Jace Arnold, two 6'3", 215, 20-pound outside backers who have had a really good spring. So
they can run. Not only size, there's some speed involved.
They can run. Jace may be the fastest of all of the backs.
Right.
Wow. So I like having those guys on the outside with their length. When Karsten comes back, he's going to give us that fourth linebacker. Landon Parker has slid in and given us a lot of good minutes at linebacker. Nash Dishner and Trevor Frost are two other guys that are trying to get in there and break their way into the lineup and rest some guys.
Wonderful. Again, we're on the Wolf Way. Thom Throp along with Justin Hilton. Shifting from the linebackers on the defensive side of the ball, let's go to the defensive backs. Where do we have there?
These guys have played for 3 years, essentially. I mean, this is where the most experience lies. We lost Caleb Mabb, who was a huge loss because, he was just excellent. But when I say these names, they're names that you called out making tackles all season. Brody Fields, Dayton Brown, Jackson Price, Jackson Walsh, Braden Lawson's back. He's a good player. He's going to really help us at the corner position. And then there's some other guys, some other young guys that are trying to break in and get some more reps in there as well. Competition breeds folks becoming better, and we've got competition in practice, and that's really helping us as we get ready for the season.
Very good. And again, guys with size, and maybe not the tallest people in the world, but they with strength and speed out there can cover and can tackle.
They can. They have worked so hard in the weight room to change their bodies, so now you're pairing the strength with the experience, and you hope that translates to success.
Very good. Okay, and let's shift to special teams. Again, last year you had Caleb Mabb as a punter, did great things. You had Evan Manus kicking off and doing his thing. You had Samuel Burris with the extra points. You had solid special teams in that regard. Where do you turn this year?
Well, we have a freshman.
Okay.
And he's a very good freshman.
Very good.
Warren Belcher. And we are expecting him to come in and be an impact on special teams from the get-go. Samuel came in and worked with him a little bit, and I know that he goes out and works on his own quite a bit as well. So he's improved in the kickoff game just from the time that he's gotten here. He's consistent on extra points. And Jolin Harvey is equally as consistent on the extra points. So we do have 2 kickers that I'm comfortable with putting out there. We've got another freshman, another little Burton came along, and he's doing a good job. So, we've got 3 young kickers that are going to develop. Maybe we'll be in that situation we were in last year in a couple of years where can do some different things, and Orlando's going to be punting for us. Got a strong leg. When he hits it, it really goes. We're asking a lot out of him. So, he's going to have to. We're going to have to see how that goes. Reiner will be his backup at punter. Long snapper Jace Arwood, short snapper Hayden Music, holder Isaac McGee. So those guys all have experience. Jace has been snapping since he was a freshman.
Right. And Arwood was doing that until he got hurt, last year as well. So, and that's an important part too, especially for a young kicker or inexperienced kicker, knowing that the guys up there in front of him are confident in what they're doing. So no doubt. We're going to throw this out here and have no control over it, but last year the Tennessee High game was played in a monsoon for part of the game. It's in the forecast again for this week, which playing at the Stone Castle, wonderful place to play, historic, been renovated, all this stuff. Tennessee High's wanting revenge. There's been a lot of talk. I've already heard it, and I'm sure you have seen it on TV stories and things like that too. And I understand. Last year we put it to them. How does rain affect what you want to do, and how do you see the focus of your team?
It should hurt the option game. I mean, a wet ball should hurt what we do and benefit what other teams do, but last year it didn't really make any impact at all.
No.
I mean, I think that the raw emotion that our guys played with and the energy overcame the rain. So if it rains, it rains. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think our guys are just ready to hit somebody else at this point, and they're excited to go play. As far as the revenge standpoint, this is a new team. This is a new year. Tennessee High and us has been very back and forth over the past couple of years. We love playing this game at the beginning of the year because they're well coached with really good athletes. They show you where you need to improve by playing them, and they help you get ready for the conference slate.
Absolutely. And they come in with a crowd when they come here. We take a crowd to them when we go. And again, the Stone Castle's a cool place to play. You and I both have played in it. It's a cool place to be, especially when you walk out of there with a victory. So let's talk about some specifics with that. What are the keys to stopping what you anticipate Tennessee High doing?
Historically, they've been a line of scrimmage team. They want to run the football. They came out last year and got in the power I and wanted to see if they could cram it down our throats a little bit. Ended up, they got into more of 10 personnel trips and things like that. So we don't know what to expect. Going into the first game, couldn't exchange many scrimmage tapes because their scrimmage with Gate City got canceled. So we saw a little bit of them against Morristown East and Cherokee. And it looked like a typical Tennessee High team that's going to be physical at the point of attack. And I'm sure with Plumbar back, they're going to try to get him touches any way they can. They really like their quarterback and they like the receivers. So, I think it's going to be we got to stop the run, make them one-dimensional, and then contain the passing game.
Okay, and then to attack what you're going to see out of them defensively, I know you're going to do what we do, but what do you look for from them defensively, and how do you hit it?
I mean, for 40 years, it seems like they've been a split 4 team that is just gritty and raw in the line of scrimmage. They've transitioned a little bit to a 50, and what we've seen in the tapes, we never know what anybody's going to line up in when we play them, so we just expect everything.
Okay, very good. Okay, and we head off again. It's luau night, I think, for the school. The students will be dressed in a luau type, which hopefully will keep the weather away. I don't know, but I do anticipate, and I know you anticipate, a great crowd traveling with us.
It's going to be a great crowd. It's always a great crowd. Westridge travels. Everybody talks about it. We have the best fan base. I've got to make sure Coach Rose in his coaching polo and not a Hawaiian shirt. I'm sure he'll be up mingling amongst all the fans. So I got to contain him. But no, we expect it to be a great crowd and a fun night, and it should be a really, really good high school football game.
Absolutely, and we'll talk about it on the Wolf Way when we do it next week. Good luck to you. Let's go get a big win for the Wolves.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We will see you all next week on episode 2 of the Wolf Way.